Welcome to the Luminous program with Shalom World Television. My name is Patrick Sullivan. I'm a Catholic lay evangelist, and I'm from Barry's Bay, Canada. Today's reading is from the Gospel of Luke. Now large crowds were traveling with him, and he turned and said to them, "Whoever comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even life itself, cannot be my disciples. Whoever does not carry the cross and follow me cannot be my disciples. For which of you, intending to build a tower, does not first sit down and estimate the cost, to see whether he has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it will begin to ridicule him, saying, 'This fellow began to build and was not able to finish.' Or what king, going out to wage war against another king, will not sit down first and consider whether he is able with 10,000 to oppose the one who comes against him with 20,000? If he cannot, then while the other is still far away, he sends a delegation and asks for the terms of peace. So therefore, none of you can become my disciple if you do not give up all your possessions." The word of the Lord. You know, in today's gospel, God is being very clear to us. If you want to be a saint, nothing else matters. If you want to be a saint, you have to give all of yourself. And to do that, I want to give you 3 tips. 3 things that can propel you on this mission. Because let's face it, every one of us, every last person on earth is called to heaven. Every one of us is called to be a saint. So here are the 3 tips. Are you ready? The first, you have to be willing to know yourself. The second, you have to be willing to accept yourself. And finally, you have to be willing, even in spite of those things, to try. Let's go through those together. All of us have faults. All of us have problems. We've been through things. Things have happened to us. And there is within each of us concupiscence, that pulling, that pushing towards sin. We have vices. We have terrible habits. We have things we do that we know we shouldn't do. You know that about yourself. You know that about family members. And the question is, are you willing to admit it? I can tell you quite honestly that when I see a great big cheeseburger, I want to eat all of it. And when I see 2 big cheeseburgers, guess what? I want to eat that one too. You see, I know about myself that I tend towards food. I love food. But I shouldn't. If it pulls me away from God's plan, if it pulls me away from the mission, I have to know that about myself. What is it for you? What thing in your life is pulling you away from your mission? In our house, we talk very openly about the vices of each of us, the struggles we all have, and we do that, why? So that we can help each other. You see, once you know what you struggle with, once you know your tendencies, which may not be so good, then you can do something amazing. And you know what that is? You accept it. You accept that I am the kind of person who does this thing over here. I am the kind of person who tends to do that thing over there. And if you know it and you accept it, you can finally move forward. I remember the first time I caught my little Benjamin sitting on the counter with his hand in a cookie jar. There he was. He had been caught. He already had cookies. He already had dessert, but he wanted just a couple more. And with his hand in the jar, looking at his dad, who loves him, who doesn't judge him, he looked at me and said, "Dad, I don't understand. I just wanted more cookies." Have you had a moment like that? Where you have had your hand in the cookie jar, so to speak? When you've been caught? When you could admit to yourself, this is what I tend to do? If that's happened to you, wonderful. It is actually a good thing. Now you can what? You can accept it. But let's move on to the 3rd step. Remember, I need to know about myself. I need to accept myself. And yes, I actually need to try. When you begin to see these things about yourself, you can try. Why? Because saints, guess what, aren't just lying around here and there. Saints don't just appear. Saints are made. And saints are made by what? Trying. In our house, as we talk about those vices, those struggles we all have, and we're very honest about the things that are going wrong with us, the suggestions pop up. Well, Dad, what if instead of having 2 burgers on the table, we make sure there's only 1 there for you? Yeah, Benjamin, I think that'll help me. Well, Dad, maybe if we cut your burger in half, and then when you eat that, if you want some more, we'll give you the other half. Well, that's a really good suggestion, Gabriel. You see, once I know it about myself and I accept it, I can come up with strategies to try. Saints are made. They're not born. And everyone around us, people like you and me, are struggling with something. But there's a difference, The person who will not be a saint is the person who will not go through those steps. The person who will not look up at heaven is the same person who will not say, inside, right here, I have a problem. In our house, we have decided a couple things. We've decided we're going to be completely honest with ourselves. We've decided we're going to accept who we are, and then we're going to try. Just like in the gospel reading today, we're going to do everything we possibly can to struggle, to fight for sanctity. Let me tell you a few things that happen. Now, secretly in my house, my children don't know that I know this, but I see them, and I want to share it with you. Gabriel has decided, my eldest, my strongest boy, a boy of 11, he's decided for some years now that he's going to fight to be a saint by locking his door, hiding in his room, and praying like no one has ever prayed before. Do you do that? Do you go off into a spot by yourself, shut out the world, and say to God, I'm here. You know what I am. You know where I fall short, but I'm trying. Do you do that? Tobias, my little courageous boy of 9, he actually is making an effort to be a saint. How? By being a peacemaker. He looks about the family and tries to find where he could bring peace, calm. They're fighting over a toy over there. Good, I'll get in there. Someone's struggling with some decision of mom or dad over there. Good, I'll get in there. You see, he's introspected. He's looked at himself and he said, God, this is who I am. I know it. I accept it, but I'm going to try. My little Hannah just turned 7. She's decided for quite a long time now that if she's going to be a saint, if she's going to make it to heaven, then she's going to buckle down with all that she is, and daily, without fail, she's going to pray and pray and pray, and nothing is going to stop her. We've had many episodes at the dinner table where we all say a short little prayer, but Hannah has her list. And she goes through the list regardless of the faces other children are making, regardless of the size about how long she's taking. You see, she's decided that she will be a saint. She will try. And it's in the trying that saints are made. Then there's Kyla. Now, Kyla has said for many years now, and maybe you've done this as well, God, you know me. I know you accept me. I know you love me. But I need to try. So please do whatever it takes to drive me to my knees. Do you know what that means? That means send me the hard stuff. Send me the stuff that's going to force me to look up at you. Teach me that I am weak and you are strong. Show me that you're the only way forward. You see, if you want to be a saint, if you actually want to get through the Via Dolorosa with freedom, you have to do what the gospel says. You have to give up all and focus. Are you focusing? I want you to think of your life right now. I want you to think about a person God has put there. Maybe a particular challenge of yours. Maybe a particular mission you have. Can you see them? Get them in your mind's eye. I want you to ask yourself, if I just tried, if I just fought the good fight, if I just conquered the vice, the terrible habit, could I help them? Think about them, see them. God, if I just tried a little harder, if I just buckled down like Hannah, if I found the corner somewhere in the other side of the house where I prayed like Gabriel, if I just looked with a keen eye to be the peacemaker. Lord, if I just tried, could I help them? What is God telling you to do right now? Look, there's no easy way to say this. If you want to be a saint, you must do everything in your power, everything, to love Him above all things. And that can be hard, can't it? Because we love different things. I myself right now, I'm learning to love the classical guitar. I'm terrible at it. I'll hurt your ears if you hear me play, but I love it. And yet, that cannot compare to my love for God. I watch my little Sophia dancing. She's 3 years old. She loves to dance. But over time, as she grows, as she learns about herself and accepts herself, she's going to have to do what? She's going to have to learn that dancing doesn't compare to the beauty and goodness of God. Little Jonah, he loves playing his blocks. Little Jonah loves playing his puzzles. Little Jonah loves telling and hearing a good joke. Maybe you do too. He's only 6. Over time, he's going to have to learn that God, the great God who is, the great God who made us and loves us and sustains us, well, He is far more lovable still. I have a question for you. What will you do to become a saint? What will you do today, right now in fact, to start the path towards sanctity? So that one day, years from now, maybe my distant relatives, maybe my progeny will hold your holy card and they'll say, do you remember Saint so-and-so? Do you remember how he did this? Do you remember how she did that? What do you need to do today to give up all else and love the one who is? Pray with me. Lord Jesus, we need you. We need you to point out who we are, as much as we don't like it, as much as it may hurt. We need you to help us to accept ourselves, to see us the way you see us. Not just the frailties, but the children that we are, beloved of the Father. And Jesus, we need you. We need you to help us to try. Send us your Spirit. Fill us up. Inspire us. Show us the path. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
I'm very happy to present my greetings to Shalom Ministry and all the good work that you do around the world in fulfilling the dream of the Holy Father that all should hear the love of God. Thank you for your good work and those who support you. May these special days of new evangelization bless your operators, your administrators, and your benefactors. God bless you.
Shalom World, God's own channel.